My name is Karis Choi, and my study is the impacts of climate change on mental health. Did you know climate change can exacerbate depression by 31% and anxiety by 69%? The figure on the right displays the presence of climate-related depression within different genres of people in the United States, categorized by race, gender, and generation. In total, there have been 4,274 cases of depression within 2 weeks of heat waves. As a result of climate change, extreme heat has taken a toll on mental well-being. This is shown by our behavior and phrasing of words, which are directly linked to signs of depression and anxiety on social media platforms, the way that heat interferes with quality and quantity of sleep, leading to memory loss, increased irritability, and lack of focus, the fact that suicide rates rise as temperatures rise, which can be seen on the figure on the left, and how climate anxiety impacts emotional and mental stability. Climate anxiety is the fundamental distress about climate change and its impacts on the landscape and human existence. But with this, what are the impacts of climate change on mental health? The first article is titled, "Heat Waves Can Be Deadly for Those with Mental Health Issues." The research conducted in the article was by British Columbia Center for Disease Control. The article recognizes that there have been an increase of interpersonal violence, hate speech, and suicide rates, and that mental health conditions face immense threat, and there have been a trigger and ingredients of mental health medications which become toxic in the presence of heat. As well, during heat waves, night temperatures are elevated and lead to poor sleep, contributing to mental stress. The violence that rises with temperatures is shown by the graph on the right, which represents the surge in violence throughout the span of 1 year. There have been higher rates of violence in summer months, such as June, July, and August. The second article is titled, "Why Extreme Heat is So Bad for the Human Body," and the researchers are from Boston University School of Public Health and Penn State University. Some people are at higher risk than others. For example, infants and children lose their fluid faster than adults, and they rely on caretakers. Additionally, people who rely on medication are just as vulnerable, as antidepressants and antipsychotics can affect sweat production, and drugs for heart disease can cause dehydration. Lastly, the bodies of older people respond differently to heat, making them prone to be affected by heat waves. Furthermore, heat can fuel mental health crises. For example, studies found that a mere 1 degree Celsius increase in monthly average temperature increased suicide rates by 0.7%. ER visits for any mental health conditions are more frequent. These ER visits consist of substance use disorder, anxiety disorders, and schizophrenia. Lastly, poor sleep is a very common factor, as heat disrupts sleeping patterns, worsening already existing mental health conditions. The figure on the left shows a visual representation on the effects of heat on our body and our brains. The third article is titled, "How Psychology Can Help Fight Climate Change and Climate Anxiety." This research was done at College of Wooster, University of Southern California, and Macalester College. This article touches upon the neuropsychological impacts of climate change. It showed that extreme weather events can lead to depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder in people of all ages. It also talked about how climate anxiety shapes people during heat waves. People become moderately or extremely worried about climate change, and their opinions have shared powerful emotional responses. However, on the other side, there is climate denial, which is the rejection that climate change is caused by human activity. This is very harmful, as there is direct evidence on how human impact had led to climate change, and people still use cognitive and emotional reasons to justify climate denial. However, to help bring awareness to climate change, it is important to tailor the significance of climate change to the audience. Lastly, the article talks about how psychology can help combat climate change. It can help change human behavior and responses in extreme cases of climate anxiety, and can encourage individuals to take action against it. The graph on the right displays the presence of climate anxiety rates within different genres of people in the United States, categorized by race, age, and gender in a span of 2 weeks. Climate change is detrimental to mental health. Therefore, it is important that the effects of extreme heat are publicized so we can prevent any further damage as our planet decays. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for listening.